as soon as I read that, the alarm bells went off. And of course, I went into their archives and I looked and who are these people? Who have they been interviewing? Well, there it was, High Times magazine, and the editor of High Times and Miss High Times, of course, that's very important. And Lester Grinspoon, all of these top experts. What a joke. So it just sickened me when I seen it. And knowing that they are allowing these people to provide their own questions, I mean, that's not an interview, for God's sakes. That's a platform to spread your own propaganda. So I came back and I told Mike Boulton that I would have nothing to do with their show. And of course, that made Mr. Boulton quite mad. Matter of fact, he called me an arrogant bastard. But I couldn't care less what Mr. Boulton thinks. But when they aired their show, they turned around and the whole show was an hour devoted to trashing me. They come at me in every direction you could. They said that, Jack Hare had never wanted me to be the leader of the movement, and that, I was basically lying about all of that. And it was just one thing after another for a solid hour. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So actually here a while ago, or shortly after that, I put a clip up on half an hour clip up on the internet called Rick Simpson Debunks Cannabis Nation Radio. And in that video, I challenged them all, Grinspoon, the whole damn bunch of them. Come on air on a live show and take me on. And of course they won't do that because I'll sink their boat in 2 seconds and they know it. But there is so many people out there spreading this lies and propaganda. It just makes me sick, But in the end, once the public wakes up, I don't know where these people are going to hide because, they're causing this to continue. We should be working together to bring this medicine to the people that need it. Instead, they're just playing games with it, the way they always have. And I am damn disappointed in all of these researchers that have known the truth about this substance for decades, but yet they held it back. They took their research grants and they kept their mouths shut. Now, I mean, how much trust can we put in people like that? And why is it a guy like me with a brain injury and a grade 8 education has to be the one to bring this, forward so the public will learn the truth?
Well, because you're the one with the power to. Simple as that, That's one of the lines from Team America World Police. Why do I have to save the world? Why is it my responsibility? Because, well, like it or not, you're the one with the power. But that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Have you noticed?
Yes.
Every single thing that really gets accomplished that's really great for humanity is usually triggered and put into place by one person.
Well, they say, it's just a small group of people can change the world. And
they're the only thing that ever has.
Anymore. I mean, I don't put myself as being any more important than anyone else in the movement, but now I've met so many wonderful activists. This medicine, the use of it is spreading so rapidly now. We have millions of people now using the medicine in all countries. And, and the results themselves, for God's sakes, the medical system, they don't heal anything. And this wonderful medication seems to be a treatment that's effective for practically every disease I've ever heard of.
Mm. And we know that that's the case because you've actually cured people with every single frickin' disease that you can even think of.
Pretty well.
It's like somebody comes up to you, oh, you can't cure this. Really, talk to these 10,000 people that I've cured of it. Yeah. You can't cure that, though. Oh, really? Here's this 3,000 people that we've cured of it. But surely you can't cure this. Here's 2,000 people that we've cured of it. I mean, you're going to run through... What are you going to do before you accept the truth? Are you going to run through every single conceivable, identifiable disease in a textbook and find out whether or not it works before you start to accept the fact?
Yes. Well, like last year when I was here in Croatia, there was a meeting arranged with the advisors of the Ministry of Health here. So I went right to their government building, went in and had the meeting. And the minute I walked through the door, it was a woman doctor, and she looked at me and she said, she spoke good English, and she said, well, this drug is addictive. And I looked at her and I said, it's been known all through history that cannabis is not addictive, dear. And I said, even the Canadian government admitted back in 2000 that it's non-addictive. Well, then she turned right around and she said, well, someone died from it. And there was a computer sitting on her desk, and I pointed at the computer. I said, show me, like that. And she looked at me and she said, well, it was a synthetic cannabinoid that a pharmaceutical industry had produced. And I said, well, I'm not surprised that it killed someone, but the cannabinoids from the plant do not cause death, and it's that simple. And she was sitting there looking at me, and I said, oh, you this one place, do you?
Sorry. Can you repeat that? You kind of cut out of it. She was sitting there looking at you and what?
And I asked her, I said, you don't even know why this law was put in place. And I said, did Croatia do a study on cannabis to determine the dangers? And I said, no, you didn't. Well, what your government did, they did what the big money told them, and they put these laws in place, and look at the destruction and harm it's caused. And she just, she believed me. There was no questioning, because she followed me right out to the outside door, talking to me. So I think it did have an impact on her. But now, like I said, with so many people in Croatia, knowing the truth, I think it's just a matter of time. And the government here is going to have to act, and I think in just the next few months.
You know what? I think lies are no match for the truth, provided the truth is said in an equal quantity, right? Because what we started off with, I think, say in the Harry J. Anslinger. I love it how his middle name was J. he came out in a legalized pot. You have the reefer madness, these massive propaganda campaigns of which there was virtually no rival, and the amount of people that were telling the truth, 1 out of 1 million. Now
that was about it.
Now it's starting to reverse a little bit. I think once the point comes where there's 500,000 people telling the truth and 500,000 people telling the lie, the people who are telling the lie, nobody's going to believe them at all.
They'll just fade away, Vinny. And like I said, I honestly do think that it is, United States, one state after another is legalizing now, and I think in a short time, probably within the next year to 2 years, every state in the union is going to be legal. And when that occurs, I don't know what Mr. Obama is going to do, because they're going to want to hang him, and I don't blame them. But I really think it's going to happen in one of these countries with a small population, like Croatia or Slovenia. And the minute they let us do this and start treating people openly, then the rest of the countries are just going to fall like dominoes. Because, everyone wants, good medicine that works. And this is the ultimate answer for preventative medicine, or for healing yourself with a terminal disease that you now have. What better medicine to treat yourself with, for God's sakes?
Yeah, I do believe you're correct. If America completely legalizes pot, the rest of the country's legislation will fall like dominoes, and Americans will certainly order a lot more of it as well.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to be the Canadian Prime Minister in the future, because, it's like I said, I started all this in Canada back in 2003, and, there it is. 10 years have gone by. All of these people have suffered and died because, the government wouldn't do the right thing for the people. So I really don't think the Canadian people are going to be too damn happy with their political parties and their political leaders. So the change is coming. But again, I hope we can accomplish it without any violence. It would be nice if we did something right for a change.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if instead of people suffering and dying, people got healed and stopped feeling so much pain? It's just, doesn't that seem pretty straightforward? I would have thought so, but apparently some people just don't believe that's a logical thing.
You're quite right, brother. This is the hard part of this medicine. It's all, the whole thing is so simple, and the medicine is so easy to make that people